Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the sanctuary of stardom, the archive of the extraordinary, and the only channel that dares to look beyond the glittering curtain of fame to find the beating heart within. You are watching Mr. Magazine, and I am your host, your narrator, and your guide through the labyrinth of celebrity destiny. Today, we stand on the precipice of a story so monumental, so drenched in emotion and sacrifice, that it threatens to rewrite the history of Turkish and Italian television combined. We are not merely talking about a career change, we are witnessing the dismantling of a kingdom. We are talking about Yaman, the man who conquered Rome, the favorite son of Italy, and his shocking decision to burn his ships and return to the shores of the Bosphorus. But why? The answer, my friends, is a name that has echoed in the corridors of his soul for years, Demet Özdemir. Today, we unravel the great purge, the secret trips, the midnight phone calls, and the theatrical master plan to win back a lost love. Before we step into this saga of passion and surrender, ensure you are officially part of our family. Click that subscribe button, ignite the like icon to show your support, and if you truly wish to empower independent, deep dive journalism, hit the join button to become a member of our inner circle. Your support is the ink in our pen. Now, let us journey to Rome, to a cold night in November, where it all began. To understand the magnitude of the news we are breaking today, one must first understand the height from which our protagonist is descending. Yaman did not merely visit Italy. He conquered it. He built an empire of adoration that stretched from the fashion capital of Milan to the historic cobblestones of Sicily. He was the golden boy, the face of international brands, the leading man who could do no wrong. Yet, as the old adage goes, heavy is the head that wears the crown. The genesis of this earth-shattering decision traces back to a specific, biting night this past November. The setting was his magnificent villa in Parioli, one of Rome's most exclusive and aristocratic neighborhoods. This residence was not just a home, it was a trophy, a tangible symbol of his meteoric rise over the last 3 years. The marble was cold, the ceilings were high, and the view from the terrace offered a panoramic vista of the eternal city, glowing in the amber light of street lamps. By all metrics of modern success, Yaman had everything a man could desire: wealth, acclaim, and a future paved with gold. However, a profound silence reigned within those luxurious walls. It was a silence that no amount of applause could drown out. Reports indicate that on this particular night, insomnia had claimed him. He paced the terrace, the cool Roman wind offering no solace to a turbulent spirit. The city lay at his feet, yet his heart was beating to a rhythm set thousands of miles away, across the Mediterranean Sea. It was in this moment of crushing clarity that he reached for his phone. He did not call an agent, a lover, or a business partner. He called his anchor, his mother, Yaman. The conversation that ensued was brief, yet it possessed the weight of a final verdict. "Mom," he reportedly whispered, his voice cracking under the weight of a paradox, "I have everything here, yet I possess nothing. The void is consuming me. I want to go home. I cannot endure this masquerade any longer." The response from Mrs. Gulden was the catalyst that shattered the illusion. She did not speak of contracts or reputation, she spoke as a mother seeing the fracturing soul of her son. "Success means nothing if your heart is in exile," she told him. "Come home, son." That sentence was the first domino in a cascade of events that we are now seeing unfold. It was the moment the Italian dream began to dissolve, revealing the Turkish realities underneath. For months, this internal conflict was kept hidden behind the dazzling smile of the superstar. But truth has a way of leaking through the cracks. For the first time, a key witness has stepped forward to corroborate this transformation. Marco Ferri, a prominent Italian businessman and a close associate within Cannes' inner circle, has broken his silence to shed light on the duality of Yaman's existence over the last 6 months. "The world sees the star, but we saw the man," Ferri revealed in a candid disclosure. In the last half-year, Can transformed into a completely different entity. When the cameras were rolling, he was impeccable, professional, charismatic, the perfect idol. But the moment the director yelled cut, the light would leave his eyes. Ferri describes scenes of profound melancholy. He recounts moments where Can would withdraw into corners, scrolling endlessly through his phone. He wasn't looking at social media metrics or news about himself, he was looking at old photographs. His eyes would light up momentarily when Turkey was mentioned, a fleeting spark of the old Can, Ferry noted, but then they would dim again, swallowed by the reality of his location. It was the behavior of a man living in two places at once, physically in Rome, but spiritually in Istanbul. The narrative takes a turn towards the clandestine in February. While the Italian press believed Can was hunkered down reviewing scripts, he had, in fact, executed a covert operation. He flew to Istanbul. This was not a business trip, there were no red carpets, no press junkets, no meetings with network executives. He was a ghost in his own city, there for a singular, desperate purpose. He was hunting for a home. But not just any home. The real estate agent who was entrusted with this secretive task has provided details that add a layer of tragic romance to the story. He was not interested in the most expensive view or the most secluded mansion, the agent stated. He wanted a very specific coordinate on the map. When the agent, perplexed by the rigid geographical constraints, asked why he was limiting his options to that particular district, Can reportedly paused. He stood silent for a long moment, perhaps weighing the vulnerability of his answer, before replying, "It has to be near where someone important works." And what area was that? My dear viewers, it was the exact neighborhood where Demet Özdemir's current series is being filmed. Coincidence? In the world of Mr. Magazine, we do not believe in coincidences. We believe in intent. Yaman was not just buying a house, he was positioning himself. He was planting a flag on the battlefield of love, preparing for a siege. If the real estate purchase was the logistical preparation, the conversation with famous producer Farouk O was the professional declaration of war. In a shocking confession that has rocked the Turkish industry, Farouk O detailed a late-night phone call he received from the actor. Can called me, and the excitement in his voice was palpable, frantic even, the producer recounted. He told me he was ready to return. He wanted to come back to the Turkish screen. But there was a caveat. A non-negotiable clause. Yaman told the producer that he would return under one condition only: he must work with Demet Özdemir. Let us pause and appreciate the magnitude of this. This was not a negotiation tactic to increase his salary. This was not a demand for creative control. It was about wanting to recover something he had lost, Farouk O observed. Can was willing to stake his professional reputation, his comeback vehicle, entirely on the presence of one woman. It implies that the project itself matters less to him than the person standing opposite him when the cameras roll. He is not looking for a co-star, he is looking for a partner. Actions, they say, speak louder than words. And Yaman's actions in Italy can only be described as a great purge. We are receiving confirmed reports that he has begun to dismantle his life in Italy with a ruthless efficiency. The villa in Parioli? It is listed for sale. The luxury apartment in Milan, his northern sanctuary? Sold. But it goes deeper. The fleet of supercars, the Ferrari that roared through the streets of Rome, the Maserati that symbolized his status, the Porsche. They are all on the block. He is liquidating the trappings of his success. A close friend of the actor summed up this material exodus with a poetic tragedy. For years, he tried to fill the void inside him with possessions, with horsepower, with square footage. But he has realized that some voids can only be filled by one specific person. And that person is in Turkey. The cars, the houses, they are just heavy luggage now. He wants to travel light back to her. This brings us to a philosophical crossroad, and I need the wisdom of the Mr. Magazine community. We are witnessing a man dismantling a multi-million-dollar career path for the sake of a relationship that ended years ago. Is this the ultimate romantic gesture, a bravery we should applaud? Or is it a reckless decision driven by nostalgia that might end in disaster? I want to hear your thoughts. Is true love worth burning down an empire? Pause the video right now, go to the comments, and tell me. Team romance or team career? And remember, the best way to support this channel and ensure we keep bringing you these deep exclusives is to click that join button. Your membership allows us to dig deeper than anyone else. But a story of return requires a destination. What of Demet Özdemir? How does the woman at the center of this hurricane feel? These life-altering plans were reportedly communicated to her through a mutual intermediary, a discreet channel to test the waters. Her reaction, according to sources, was complex. "I was shocked," she reportedly confided to her inner circle. But beneath that shock, there was hope. This is the glimmer of light Yaman is chasing. However, do not expect a public declaration from her just yet. Those who know Demet describe her stance as one of cautious observation. She will not make the first move. She has built her own life, her own success, independent of the can-dem phenomenon. She has not closed the door completely, but she is standing behind it, waiting to see if the knock is genuine. She requires proof that this is not a whim, but a permanent change. The timeline is set. The clock is ticking. Yaman is scheduled to wrap up his obligations in Italy by September. The permanent relocation to Istanbul is slated for October. And then comes November, the anniversary of that lonely night in Rome, which is when the rumors suggest that surprise will occur. The most burning question on everyone's mind is the how. How will he approach her? Will it be a text? A bouquet of flowers? No. That is too pedestrian for a man of Cannes' dramatic flair. Our sources indicate he is planning a maneuver that is grand, theatrical, and fraught with risk. The plan is this: he intends to appear on the set of Demet's series. Not as a guest star, not as a visitor with a pass, but simply to be there. He plans to walk onto the set silently, when the cast and crew are present, and simply stand there. Can wants Demet to see him in her element, a friend explains. He wants to show her that he hasn't run away. That he is back. That he is standing his ground. He wants to convey this message not with scripted words, but with his physical presence. It is a terrifying vulnerability. We asked insiders, what if she rejects him? What if she asks security to remove him? What if the door is locked? When Can was confronted with these possibilities by his confidants, his answer was a testament to his resolve. "At least I know I am not afraid," he said. "I am not afraid of losing anymore. I am only afraid of not trying." These are the words of a man who has already accepted the cost. He views the return as irreversible. There is no plan B. There is no return ticket to Rome in his pocket. Just when we thought the stakes could not be higher, a final piece of intelligence reached our desk late last night that elevates this story to a familial level. It is whispered that before his final return, Yaman intends to contact Demet's mother. In Turkish culture, involving the family, specifically the mother, is not a casual act. It is a sign of ultimate seriousness. It signals intent for a future, not just a fling. "This is not a passing whim," a source close to the family remarked. Reaching out to her mother is the clearest, most undeniable way of saying, "I am serious. I am here to stay. I am here to build." In conclusion, my friends, what we are witnessing is no longer mere gossip. It is a human drama of Shakespearean proportions. It is the final proof of an unfinished love story, caught between the crushing gears of career, pride, time, and distance. Yaman is leaving Italy behind. He is leaving the money, the international fame, the thunderous applause of European stadiums. Why? For one thing only. For the possibility, however slim, of true love. He has had the last word in this chapter, a quote that will likely define this era of his life: "Home is where the heart is." And there is no doubt left in anyone's mind that his heart beats in the same city, in the same neighborhood, perhaps even on the same street, as Demet Özdemir. Will Demet accept this colossal sacrifice? Will she open the door to the man who gave up an empire to knock on it? Or has too much time passed? This story is just beginning, and Mr. Magazine will be here for every heartbeat, every tear, and every triumph. If you were moved by this story of sacrifice and longing, please break the algorithm by liking this video and sharing it with every Can and Demet fan you know. Let us get this conversation started. And a massive, heartfelt thank you to our Joiner members. You are the producers of this channel, and we salute you. Until the next update, keep your eyes on the stars, but keep your heart at home. This is Mr. Magazine, signing off.